8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's the Finance Committee, and we are now in session. Lori, will you be calling roll for us?
yes, I will. Okay. Finance Committee Chair Scott.
Present.
Madam Board President Galbraith.
Present.
Vice President Morgan.
Present.
Board Member Coleman.
Present.
And Board Member Cullen.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, our first business of the day is to approve the prioritized agenda. Is there any discussion on that? Dr. Cleveland, do you have anything to add? Okay, I think she's indicating she does not.
I can't get my mic now. No, I do not have anything. That's the proposed agenda is what we hope to talk about today.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the prioritized agenda.
I move to approve the prioritized agenda.
Do I have a second?
Board Member Jeff Morgan, I second.
All those in favor?
We have to do roll call
We have
because
to do
we're
a roll
virtual.
call.
All right. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Sorry about
I will. Okay. Finance Committee Chair Scott.
that. Yes.
Madam Board President Galbraith.
Yes.
Vice President Morgan.
Yes.
Board Member Coleman.
Yes.
Board Member Cullen.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Now that the agenda is approved, we'll move on to business. The 2021 monthly financial report, and Arlene will be presenting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Give me a minute here and I will pull up the reports. I also believe that Jane shared those documents with you.
She did.
Okay. Can everyone see the report?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair, well, first of all, I'd like to say that I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, nice and filling and restful also. So, with that said, we will move on to our reports. I usually start with the overview report. This time I am going to start with the detail, revenue, and expenditure report. These are for the month ending October. So in front of you is the revenue. And I think the most important thing to point out is that we are on track. As you can see, the percent collected is 32.78. If it were a perfect world, actually, October would be about 33%. So keep that in mind when we go through the revenue and expenditures. The next item I want to talk about is, well, actually what I want to do is remind all of the board members that at the very bottom of this document, page 4, the detail is separated by function. And so I know that you have heard us talk about 1,000 money, 2,000 monies. And so what we're referring to is the function. So in the 1,000 function, that is strictly for instructional And then there's multiple support services in the 2,000 function, and then we also have the 4,000 function, which is capital outlay. The other report that we're going to go to next, the overview report, is strictly on the object code. So I just wanted to point out the differences of those. So when you're looking at the detail, you have a better idea of what expenses are for either the 1,000 or the 2,000 function. I'm going to go up just a bit and to the grand totals, and then we can go to the overview report, and then if you have any questions into the detail, I would be more than happy to answer any of those questions. So the grand total we're showing in our expense side is 22.9%. As I said before, in a perfect world, I guess, if we were to expend the exact amount every month, it should be about 33%. And we are at 22.9. So just want to reiterate that the district's financial position is very good. We are in very good condition. So now I am going to switch over to the the October overview report, excuse me. And again, that is by object code and the description of each object code. Last month, or last finance committee meeting, I did point out that we had not encumbered the salaries and benefits. So here we have, in October is when we usually encumber the salaries and benefits. So those are reflected on this report. Again, looking at the overall percent used is roughly in the 20s, around 22, 23%, which is a little bit lower than maybe a normal year. But this is not a normal year at all. So again, we are in very good financial shape. The other thing that I would like to say is that if we continue as we have been, it's likely that what's going to occur is that we'll see savings in items such as our student travel, professional development, and maybe even in our general supplies. Don't know what that amount will be, but those are the items that we don't see much of the budget being used on right now. So before I hand this over to Heather, she is going to talk about the available balance and the encumbrances on the compensation and benefits. But before I do that, I'd like to see if there's any questions on anything else that I've covered.
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay, then Arlene, we're going to hand it off.
Hand it over to Heather Gobaldon.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So as I'm looking at this chart at the end of October, sorry, my microphone goes on and off. It looked like we had about 13 million of available budget balance in compensation and benefits. And I will say that when I just ran them at the end of November, that actually is already down to 12.5 million. So basically the way it works is all salaries and stipends, along with the corresponding benefits, are encumbered in the system once they are entered by HR. But there are actually many payroll items that are not encumbered in the system. So even though it shows that we have this 13.5 million or now $12.5 million available budget in salaries and benefits, most of that money is actually earmarked for certain payroll items that will be spent basically by the end of the school year. So the most significant items that are not encumbered as of yet are the 10 additional days that are part of the extended learning time program. And those will be paid after the days are worked at the end of the school year. All of the payroll for substitutes and our hourly employees. The transportation shortfall. So throughout the year, everything is recorded in the transportation fund. And then at the end of the year, we all know we have a shortfall in transportation. And so we end up moving around $1 million into operational, and that's mostly salaries and benefits. And then the last item is any unspent departmental additional compensation. So after accounting for all of those items, we estimate that we will probably have vacancy savings at the end of the year of probably just over $3 million. And we'll see every month that we report that this number will probably fall every month. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
I'm not hearing any questions. Arlene, how shall we proceed?
I'd like to make a comment, if I could, just really quickly. In the meeting that we had on Monday, the superintendent's meeting, the report that the folks that have been meeting already with our legislators and with the leadership said that there seems to be a growing consensus that they will pay transportation based on this year's formula. So that's really good news if that happens. And so, but for us, that still means we're short. And so Chris raised that issue with them, as did Las Cruces and Albuquerque. And you will laugh at this. I mean, if you need a little chuckle for the day, this is a good chuckle for the day. You know, we're just so tired of hearing from Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Rio Rancho, and we're really going to try to fix transportation this year. We're going to really try to pay for the actual cost of it. So we'll see. We'll see whether that actually happens or not. It's just really nice to have them actually say it, whether they do it or not, because over the years they've not even bothered to really say it. So transportation maybe will be more positive next year. I wouldn't put any money down on the table that it's necessarily going to be fixed, but I did think you might be interested in knowing that.
Okay. Anybody else with any comments? Mike, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, Madam Chair. Actually, Heather was going to turn it over to me for just to kind of conclude the available funding on salary and benefits. So I just kind of wanted to recap that. As Heather mentioned, we do have the extended learning program budget over $4 million that will be expended from the budget. It is in the budget. We are prepared to pay for that. With the additional vacancy savings, as Heather said, approximately $3.1 million. We will be seeing an additional $2.2 million sometime at mid-year. That's additional cash carry from last fiscal year for a total of approximately $5.3 million. With that, we will have additional training for our employees in order to proceed into next semester that will enhance their ability to react to the pandemic and the distance learning. That cost is approximately $2.8 million, which will be well within our budget. So with that, I, myself and Heather and Arlene, and I think Tracy is on as well, will stand for any questions.
Do we have any questions? Anybody?
No.
I don't have any questions.
Sounds like Arlene and Heather and you, Mike, have done a good job of giving us the information that we need.
Thank you.
Are there any further issues?
No.
Okay, well then I guess we go on to advanced planning. This has been the shortest meeting ever. Additional finance committee meetings are scheduled for February 8th, March 8th, April 12th, May 10th, and June 14th. Does everyone have that on their calendars?
Noreen, now we could pick up a few more topics if you want. I mean, you sound like you was complaining about a short meeting. I'm quite sure Mike got something in his wallet that he can discuss, you know, so. So let's just leave.
It's more shock than anything else.
All right. I say we leave well enough alone and go home. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Hey, really quick on that advanced planning, I think that Catherine, the dates is at the end of this week, right? For the board. You want to talk about that training real quick, Catherine?
The board retreat.
Yeah. No,
It's a retreat. It's your New Mexico NMSBA's conference.
Yeah.
So it should be in your calendar, and Jane has registered everybody. So definitely want to attend it and some of the classes, especially if you guys need your credits as well. But it's very informative.
I'm looking forward to it. And Jane, if she's on, thank her for getting us all registered. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mike, are you going to talk at all about the other training? Or are you going to carry that to the next meeting?
The other training, still waiting for numbers, but we're looking. Are you referring to the tutoring training or the training in regard to
the training with regard to COVID and that for staff? Will we be bringing that back on the 14th? Just an update on that.
I thought we just covered that, didn't we?
Yes,
we did briefly. I didn't know if you wanted to say any more. So I guess we're good. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
You can just adjourn us.
This is just too easy. Don't get used to that.
Yeah, we're adjourned. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.